So, what are the kinds of things that we should be imagining on the good side?
So what I first imagined when I read about Tesla's AI is I imagined an entire system of automated vehicles in which people who go to work, they just sit down in their car in front of the wheel, they don't even touch it, and they are able to read a book.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I imagine something as though you're using a GPS, right? So you're using a phone
Google Maps.
application like Google
Yeah,
Maps, right? And you say,
yeah,
"This is where I want to be,"
yeah,
and your car
yeah.
just takes you there. So that's what I had in mind when I first thought of this idea, um, and that's only one field in which we can improve our life. Now, if you ask people like my spouse who really love driving, even on manual gear, this to
Mhm.
them is a nightmare. So it all depends on the eyes of the beholder. Some of us are excited about it. Some of us are excited to sit and, to avoid traffic jams and things of that sort. And other people really like the experience of like pushing the gas and enjoying the combustion technology. So depends who you ask, always.
Yeah, enjoying the combustion.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's true. People do. Um, well, we could probably think bigger than self-driving cars because we have
Mhm.
more or less autonomous driving vehicles today now. So I guess what kinds of things things like, I mean, maybe things like helping with nuclear fusion. So AI helping us to simulate um, energy equations or how fusion reactors could work and help us transition to cleaner energy.
Yeah, for sure. It can do all kinds of stuff. Basically, what I don't know much about energy. I'm not really, I know that fusion energy is the future, and we all are dreaming of it, and it would really make our lives much much better. Um, Once we discover it, of course. But if I have to think of an area where the not the near future but the very very late future goes, and it's
Hmm.
something that comes from the pop culture mostly, is
Hmm.
that human enhancement, in a way. So right now we live in a reality where Neuralink is being developed. Now Neuralink is basically allowing folks with disability to have a fuller quality of life. So if
Hmm.
somebody, doesn't have hands but they would like to use the keyboard, they are still being able to do so because they have this chip that is being installed into their head, which allows them to interact with the machinery. Now, when I think of the future, I don't really think of it from that perspective. What I imagine is folks without arms who will basically get some robot arms instead, and you can
Hmm.
connect those arms to the organism. So instead of just interacting with machinery, they'll be able to interact with the human world. So when I'm thinking about this type of technology of robotics, it's very hard not to have machine learning involved in it. It has to be based on sort of on some sort of an AI. So if you ask me where this technology goes, that's where my imagination brings me.
Yeah, and so Neuralink starting with people with disabilities, but the intention behind the Neuralink company that Elon Musk started is that the technology could eventually be applicable to you and me, to everyone.
Hmm. For sure, to enhance our ability to think. Now,
Mhm.
I'm a bit scared when it comes to these type of topics. I know the value when it comes to the value of the technology overcomes the dangers of the technology when you have a certain disability. But when you are a healthy human being, it's very
Right.
dangerous to install a piece of software in your mind that somebody else is controlling.
Yeah.
That's where I'm having a bit of a problem digesting it.
Yeah, so another one of Elon's companies, Tesla, has had something like 18 or 19 major recalls in
Mm.
2022. The most recent recall was like 300,000 vehicles due to some tail light issue.
Wow.
And so you don't want to be in a situation where your Neuralink system that's been implanted is like this embedded mesh across your cortex.
Absolutely, or
They're like,
hacked.
oops,
There's
right,
so many ways of messing with technology. And
right.
for somebody who's been in programming for quite some time, you know all those ways of how it can go wrong, and it's part of your consideration. So there's always a good side and always a bad side. And hopefully, we'll be able to have much more confidence in those type of a technology in the future.